Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Arcanum. Let's go ahead and head up this way. There's another building up this way that we can go visit. We have a few side quests to do around here. You are a guard or something like that. Ooh, blood. That doesn't seem good. This is the wizard's house, I believe. So do we have like a blood trail or something? Ah, there's some footprints up there. Alright. Oh, and footprints there. Okay. And here, which I totally missed. Alright, let's follow the footprints. Oh, they go off the map, don't they? Yeah, they do. Unless they go up there somewhere. Oh, alright. Let's see where these lead. To a passage. Alright. In we go. Let's take a quick save. Oh, there's some bones here. A top hat. I'll take that. Potion. Rough cut ruby. Potion, a jacket. Some gold. Fatigue restore. Pocket watch, that is a big pocket watch. That's dog. Any of you guys picking anything up here? There's rough cut sapphire in there, rough cut ruby in there. Seem like there's anything else. Help! Get me out of here! That old ogre has got it in his mind to eat me! Are you Syrus the wizard? Richard Leeks sent me to find you. Richard, bless that man! I'll enchant everything that man owns if you get me out of here. I was captured by Drug, Blacktooth, an old ogre that's lived in these parts for years. He's never bothered me before, but I guess he got hungry. He said he was going out for something to spice up the soup. Please, get me out of here. I'll do my best. Give me a moment to survey the situation. Please get me out of here. The ogre will be back at any moment. Thank the stars. It was going to be wizard stew for AuldDragon if you hadn't come along. I'm going to run back to town. Good day to you, madame. Alright, I think we should probably follow him so that he doesn't, like, get smashed by the ogre. Ah, Drog Blacktooth. Syrus is level 1. Well, that's not good. Let's do another one. Who's gonna get the kill? Oh, wow. Way to go! Oh, Dogmeat just ripped his arm off. He's got the key to the cage. Not that that matters. He didn't seem to have anything else. Okay, Syrus should be okay now. One's picking up the quality sword. It seems like that's it. Rather impressed that Dogmeat was able to just leap up and rip the ogre's arm off. Let's make our way back. Let's just climb through the door, the window. Syrus? Syrus? Wood chest here that I missed. Not that there's anything here, okay. Let's go through the other window then. Alright, well, let's go talk to, Richard. Let him know that we have, rescued his friend. Have I been in here? Well, I don't see anyone. I have not been in here yet. There's a halfling villager. Hello? Have you a need for me? Greetings, halfling. Might I ask you your name? I'm Gildor Nightwalk. Who are you? My name is Elmandretta. Well, what is it, Elmandretta? Anything unusual I should know about? Well, let's ask, do you have any work for me? He looks you over thoroughly, assessing your capabilities. Work, eh? I do not think you are up to the task I would have you do. It is no simple task and will require great stealth to complete. You do not have the look of a thief about you. Perhaps I am more stealthy than I appear. I'm going to tell you a story. The tale will give you a greater insight into the task you are going to attempt, so please be patient and listen. Proceed, I'm listening. As a youth, I was pressed into service by a group of travelers. They were a rowdy, barbarous lot, seeking to gain a great wealth and reputation while adventuring throughout the land. I found my place among them, for at times stealth was called for, and this was my greatest ability. Go on. As time progressed, I proved to them that I was no mere impressed servant, and became a valued member of the group. We adventured together for several years, following old tales and discovering lost treasures. It was a rich and wild time in my life. He gets lost in his thoughts for a moment. Please continue. One fateful day, we were lazing about, recovering from our last adventure. We had just cleared out a cavern full of lizard men that had been terrorizing the local community. Deep in the back of the cave, we discovered an unmarked chest sealed tight. When we collected our fee from the local magistrate, we conveniently failed to mention the chest. Uh-huh. It took Nightfire, a half-breed elven member of the troop, nearly 2 days to spring the lock and open the chest. Since Nightfire was an expert with the lock, there was much anticipation and speculation done over the supposed contents of the box. Go on. Inside the chest, we were disappointed to find only a few coins, several interesting baubles, and a book. As I was the only literate member, I was given the book to review. Here, I still have the book. Why don't you read it for yourself? Tell me when you have finished, and I will continue. I will, thank you. Tannen Rotbringer's Journal. Oh, can't you just do standard fonts, game? One of my sons, Kalton, had wandered off into the woods to play. I set out to find him, as he had been gone most of the day. Is this gonna rhyme? He was often one to wander, but not normally for this length of time. I tracked him deep into the woods, farther than I or anyone I know had ever ventured before. Okay, so not rhyming. As I moved deeper into the unknown, I came to an area where the hairs on the base of my neck began to stand on end. The air seemed to cool, and the sounds of the forest ceased to exist. Yet Calton's tracks continued, so I pressed onward, calling out to him. And then I saw it. A clearing, silent and haunted. Scattered throughout the clearing were several large stones, positioned as if to have meaning. I believe they had arcane writings carved upon them, but I could not discern them from my distance. In the center of these stones stood an altar, and upon that altar was the largest ruby I had ever beheld. It was several moments before I could take my eyes from it, so mesmerizing was the jewel. It was then that I noticed Calton, not far off to the side. As I watched, he began to run towards the altar. It appeared he was intent on gaining the ruby. I shouted for him to halt, but he paid me no heed. Before I could stop him, Calton passed by the first marked stone. As he did so, a most unnatural beast burst forth from the ground. He cried out in terror and turned to flee, but the horror was upon him. The beast killed him before he had even taken a step back towards me, a look of absolute terror frozen on his face. I stood powerless, frozen in fear at the apparition and macabre scene before me. Oh, horror! I dared not move towards the beast. Instead, I ran from that most accursed place as fast as my feet would carry me. I was forced to leave my precious Calton where he lay, for I never found the courage to return. I warned the surrounding farmers of the horror in the woods. All children were forbidden from venturing far from home from that day forward. I can only pray that the beasts are tied to that wicked place and will never be let loose upon us. It has been years since that dreadful day. Many have forgotten what happened that day in the woods. Yet I still mourn the loss of my beloved Calton, and I have never been able to remove the vision of that hideous creature from my mind. To this day it haunts my sleep. I am old and soon shall die. I leave this record as warning to anyone who might venture deep into the haunted woods. Beware, let no other soul be condemned by the beast of the forest? I don't know. Tannen Rotbringer. I finished the book. Fascinating. Please continue. Yes, where was I? Oh, yes, I just finished reading the book. We quickly reviewed the map drawn inside to determine the distance from the ruby. It was several days' travel from our encampment. Fools that we were, we pulled out at daybreak to search for the gem. Yes? I'm leaving now. As we neared the locale, it was as the book described. The hairs on our necks raised and the forest sound ceased. You could feel the apprehension in the air. Then we came upon the clearing and the ruby. It was amazing. Never have I beheld a more beautiful thing. We were all mesmerized, dreaming of the pleasure we could enjoy once in possession of such treasure. Two of our troops suddenly ran forward to grab the jewel, and all others save me followed. For I never joined in battle, my strength not lying in combat. Wait, I hollered. Remember the beast! But it was too late. As the two men passed the first stone, a hideous creature emerged from the depths. My comrades drew their weapons, but they were clearly outmatched. Oh my. In horror, I stood there. As the fighting moved about, more beasts materialized to join the fray. I counted 7 beasts that dreadful day, one for each of the strange stones that filled the clearing. The death cries of my comrades were quickly silenced, and rather than turning on me, as I feared they would, the creatures disappeared back into the depths as the last body fell. How horrifying. Cautiously I approached the stones, yet I dared not pass their mark. As I observed the morbid scene that lay before me, I noticed that there was a warning carved upon each stone. It read, "The great ruby of Kalru is found. Heed this warning ere you move around. He who walks within a sound shall pass the death beneath the ground." If only they had read the stones. A sickness grew in me, for I knew had my comrades only waited, they would still be alive, for I had the skill necessary to obtain the ruby. But in the aftermath, as terror shook my bones, I was too shaken from what I had witnessed, and I lacked the confidence to complete the task. What did you do? I fled from the scene of carnage. I wandered aimlessly for a time before making Stillwater my home. I have never left again. I fear my adventuring days have come to an end. Yet, as the author of the book says, the jewel and the beast still haunt my sleep. So you never returned? I never did. Yet I still desire the great ruby of Kalru. As you have probably surmised, I want you to retrieve the jewel for me. If you can do this deed, I will pay you 1,500 coin. A large sum, but I believe the risk demands such a price. What say you? Will you do this task for me? I will retrieve it for you, Gildor. Very good. Here, let me see your map. I will show you the location. May I ask you some other questions? Any news passed this way lately? Alright. Good day to you. Okay, so we have another potential side quest to go do. Let's go stop by Richard here. Have you a moment? I found Syrus. He'd been waylaid by a most disagreeable ogre. Really? You must mean AuldDragon Blacktooth. He's been living up in the hills for a long time, but most of the time he's all teeth but no bite. Looks like his stomach got the best of him this time. Well done, friend. Here's the blade I promised you. He hands it to you. Good day to you. Alrighty. Do you have time for more questions? Can I look at your trade goods? Do you want this 192 coins? I will take that. Alright, so a Stillwater Blade, 1 to 8 plus 4, a 1 to 4 fatigue, summon animal. Does that mean that it summons an animal upon hit? I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess we can keep it. For a time, at least. I got another house over there. We got that house up there. There's a rubbish bin. Any interesting, no. Well, is that coal? That's coal. Coal I can sell. Nothing in there. Let's see. Elf Noble, hello. Excuse me there, madame. Just what exactly do you think you're doing in my home? Please excuse the intrusion, but I was hoping you could help me. What is it you wish to know? Could you direct me to the elven city of Kintara? Kintara? You seek Kintara? Yes, do you know where it is? Kintara, you're an elf. Have you lost your mind? No, I have not. It is just that I am not from around here. Imagine that, an elf who does not know the location of Kintara. It is not possible. I truly do not know its location, sir. I am not from this continent. So there are other continents. Confirmation. And I mean, Elmandretta is, of course, also not from this world, so this is also true, still true. It is obvious he does not believe you, sarcastically. Of course, an elf from some distant land has arrived at my doorstep and is seeking directions to Kintara. It happens every day. It is true. Now, please, I need to know its location. It's in the forest. Even a fool knows that. I realize it's in the forest. Then why are you asking me where it is? Do you know where Kintara is located or not? Yes? Out with it, man! In the glimmering forest, he noticeably tries to keep from laughing. Where exactly in the forest is Kintara? In the trees! In what trees? In the glimmering forest, he noticeably tries to keep from laughing. Where exactly in the forest? Please, it's urgent that I find Kintara. Why is it so important that you find Kintara, if you don't mind me asking? No, I don't mind at all that you ask. So, why is it so important? Let him wait. Well, let him wait. Well, are you going to tell me or not? Oh, I said that I didn't mind you asking, not that I tell you. Haha, very good, a woman after my own heart. Kintara, yes, I know where it is. Could you tell me where it is located? Elves just don't go revealing that information at the drop of a hat, but I can sympathize with your plight. I'll show you where Kintara lies. But you first must prove your worth. And how would I go about doing that? I'm not quite sure you'd be up to the task. This is a rite of passage for young elves, a cultural tradition, very old and very difficult. I can do it. Just tell me what I need to do. 200 years old. Or more. I lose track sometimes. You must bring me the pelt of the mystical Stillwater Giant. Only then will I entrust you with the location of the Mother City. The Stillwater Giant. What can you tell me of it? It is an ancient mystical creature from a time before the Age of Legends, a fearsome beast reputed to have magical powers. And where might I find this Stillwater Giant? I recommend you speak with Stanley Xavier Hippington. He's a local expert on the Stillwater Giant. What can you tell me of the Stillwater Giant? It's the same thing. Good day to you. Can you say anything else? I'd ask you a few more questions. Are you from the Elven City of Kintara? Yes, I am from Kintara. Why do you live here and not in Kintara? You know, being an elf is sometimes like that. We tend to get restless, seek new experiences. Every 100 years or so, I'll move on, assume a new identity, try something different. Okay. Well, there's also this house up there. Is that a cave? That looks like that might be a cave. Let's go check out this house. Let's see if this is the house that the expert lives in, or if it's the other house. There's only 2 houses left that I haven't searched. It's got to be one of the 2, right? Any items I can look at out here? Nope. Hello. Good day to you, madame. And who might you be, sir? Stanley Xavier Hippington, renowned cryptozoologist at your service. Cryptozoologist? Someone who studies imaginary beasts? Most people cannot comprehend the diligence and patience required to study creatures of this type. They do not understand the long years it takes to gather authentic, verifiable evidence. But as you can see all around you, I have quite a collection of evidence. What evidence? I've gathered quite an extensive amount of fur samples, droppings, and full and partial footprint casts, not to mention my numerous files of people who have actually seen the beast with their own eyes. What can you tell me about it? The Stillwater Giant, Gigantopithecus arcanus, is an extremely primitive species of giant, thought to be extinct for over 25,000 years. It was a rather strange offshoot of the Gigantopithecus genus. Strange in what way? Well, besides the fact that it was extremely hirsute for a giant, it had large horns. But the most fascinating aspect of the Gigantopithecus arcanus was its ability to shapeshift. Well, I know what hirsute means. I don't need to ask. I need to capture it. Well, then, it is fortuitous for both of us that you have sought me out. Most people feel that the capturing of the Stillwater Giant would be an impossibility, but I have devised a way. I have tracked it to its lair, and I have been searching for a big game hunter to implement my plan. Why the need for a big game hunter? Couldn't you do it yourself? I wish that I had the qualities necessary to effect the beast's capture, but I am only a scientist. The giant is a dangerous animal. Only the toughest and most experienced game hunters would even stand a chance against its fearsome attack. Well, tell me what I need to do to capture it. Excellent. I've constructed a special trap here somewhere. Ah, here it is. Use this to trap the giant. He hands you a small trap. This trap is ridiculously small. How can I catch a giant with this? That is the beauty of the plan. We take advantage of the giant's unique shape-shifting abilities. It takes an enormous amount of food to feed a creature of such enormous size, so it changes to a relatively small size to conserve its energy whenever it is in the safety of its lair. So I just sneak up on it and use a trap on it? That sounds easy. It will be easy as long as the creature is unaware of your presence. That is why I am why an experienced hunter is needed for this task. For if it smells you, hears you, or even senses your presence, it will immediately shift to its full size and attack ferociously. How am I supposed to get close enough to trap it, then? Here is a scent that you can use to mask your smell from it. I suggest you take off any armor you are wearing, and use this before approaching. You will be more silent without armor, and if you startle it, there is a slight chance it will not see you as a threat. How will I know it's the creature if it's in a small state? It bears a strong resemblance to a rabbit of all things. Its only distinguishing characteristic to differentiate it from your run-of-the-mill rabbit is that it is blue in color. A rabbit? You must be joking. This is a joke, right? It is no joke. You must not treat it as such. Besides conservation of energy, its small state is also used to lure in unsuspecting prey, as the giant is not the quickest of creatures in its large form. So, if you startle it, I suggest you run, as it is likely that you can outrun it. Where do I go to find it? Ah, that is the easy part of your task. I have built this house as near to its lair as I dare. Simply take the path behind out back until it ends at a cave entrance. The giant resides somewhere deep in the labyrinth of tunnels within. You've been most helpful. Alright, well, we have the Stillwater Trap. We also have the Stillwater Giant Scent. But before we do that, let's head over here. Let's go to that other house. Don't see anything behind that house. Alright. I think there are two ways that you can do this whole thing. I mean, there was that Stillwater Giant pelt back in Toronto, which may pay a visit to. Hello? There seems to be something not quite right with this fellow. He is extremely beautiful in a strange sort of way, but it doesn't seem right somehow. Good day to you, madame. Is there any work to be had around here, perhaps? None that I can think of. Well, thanks for stopping by. We'll be seeing you. He motions towards the door. It is obvious to any who look at you that you have the stolen idol. He begins to sweat and look around suspiciously. What, could you possibly mean? I know you've... why did you steal the idol? It has powers, somehow. It's not magical, yet it transforms whoever owns it. I was an ugly, hated person. In a town where everyone is loved and welcomed, I was rejected. But now that I own the idol, people treat me with love and respect. Perhaps I could persuade you to part with the statue. I do not see what you could offer me to convince me to change my mind. I'll get the priestess to bless you. You would do that? That would be most wonderful. I will finally be accepted. Here is the key to the room where I've been keeping the idol. Thank you. Holy cow. Big wooden object. It only weighs 10 stone. Well, let's go ahead and hold on to that. Does that increase my beauty? It does. It does increase my beauty. I think I may be holding on to that for a little while. It only weighs 10 stone. It is not all that heavy. I think with some of these story-related items, they make them super light so that it doesn't matter what kind of character you've built. Alright, well, I think we can try to go after the Stillwater Giant. I'm not sure how difficult it would be to actually defeat, but I'm gonna try and capture it. I'll try a couple different ways. Alright, but we'll call this an episode here. When we come back next time, it's off to face the Stillwater Giant, see if we can capture it, kill it, or maybe do something else to take care of this. But that will be next time. See you then, everyone.